You probably think people lie because they want to deceive you, but sometimes your brain creates a lie simply because the truth feels too uncomfortable. Think about the last time someone asked you a question and you gave an answer that wasn't completely true. Maybe you wanted to avoid trouble, maybe you didn't want to look stupid, or maybe you simply didn't want to hurt someone's feelings. So, does lying automatically mean someone is dishonest or bad? Psychology gives us a much more complicated answer. One of the most basic reasons people lie is fear. When the truth feels dangerous, embarrassing, or likely to bring punishment, a lie can suddenly feel like an escape route. Imagine a child breaking something expensive. They know exactly what happened, but when someone asks, they say, "I don't know." The lie doesn't necessarily come from a desire to hurt anyone. It can come from the brain trying to reduce an immediate threat, and this same mechanism can continue into adulthood. People may hide mistakes at work, deny embarrassing behavior, or change a story because admitting the truth feels psychologically painful. But fear isn't the only reason. Sometimes people lie because they desperately want other people to like them. Humans are extremely sensitive to social acceptance. Being rejected by a group can feel threatening because historically, belonging to a group was connected to survival. That's why someone might exaggerate their achievements, pretend to know something, or make their life sound more exciting than it really is. Psychologists call part of this impression management, controlling how other people perceive you. You're not necessarily changing reality, you're changing the version of reality that another person sees. And that's why many everyday lies are surprisingly small. A person might say they're almost there when they haven't even left home, or say they're fine when they're actually upset. Then there are lies designed to protect someone else. A person might hide information to protect a friend's feelings, avoid unnecessary conflict, or keep a surprise secret. These lies create an interesting psychological question. Is every lie equally harmful? There's another fascinating part of lying. Your brain may have to manage two versions of the story at the same time. First, you need to remember what actually happened. Then you need to construct what you're going to say instead. And you may also have to remember what you've already told other people, so you don't accidentally contradict yourself. That's extra mental work. And the more complicated the lie becomes, the more information you may have to keep track of. This is one reason complicated lies can eventually collapse under their own weight. But here's the part people often get completely wrong. Humans are not naturally great lie detectors. Looking away doesn't automatically mean someone is lying. Neither does fidgeting, touching their face, or sounding nervous. A completely honest person can look nervous simply because they know they're being judged. And when lying successfully helps someone avoid a consequence or gain a reward, the behavior can become easier to repeat. Imagine someone lies about being late and nothing bad happens. Next time they're late, lying may feel like the easier option. This is a basic principle of behavioral psychology. Behaviors that produce rewarding outcomes are more likely to be repeated. But perhaps the strangest form of lying is when the person isn't completely honest even with themselves. People can sometimes create comforting explanations for their own behavior because accepting the real explanation would damage how they see themselves. For example, someone might fail at something and blame everyone else, because admitting, "I made a mistake," is harder for the ego to accept. The problem becomes much more serious when lying turns into a deliberate strategy for manipulation, exploitation, or avoiding responsibility. At that point, the lie isn't just protecting someone's feelings, it's being used to control another person's decisions. So why do people lie? Fear, protection, social approval, reward, avoiding embarrassment, protecting someone else, and sometimes simply avoiding an uncomfortable truth. Lying is part of human behavior, but understanding the psychology behind it can help us recognize patterns instead of jumping to conclusions. Because the next time someone lies to you, the most useful question may not be, "Why are they lying?" It might be, "What are they trying to protect, gain, avoid, or feel?" Because sometimes a lie tells you less about the truth and more about the person telling it.